Aquifer. A little bit of background information. The aquifer is actually divided into two sections. We have the Rochester area, where the existing poles that were pumping into Bulawayo are situated. And we also now have a new area that we're developing that's called Epping. I think that's the area that most of the questions are coming under. When we get to Epping, we were given funding quite a few years back to start working on the Epping forest area under the PSIP program, which is the Public Sector Investment Program. And under that program, we drilled 10 boreholes, and we did one reservoir, and we then ran out of funding. And the subsequent years after that, we weren't allocated any funding to continue with the work. Fortunately, our colleagues from the city looked at that and said, we need the water from the aquifer. And they then came forward and they then said, listen, we'll provide the funding to complete the works and we'll sort out the payments, just things later. So we then got contracted to go on to site. And as you've heard from quite a few of the speakers here, quite a bit of work was done. Almost 85% of the work was done. We then had a monetary change in policy, where we then moved from the US dollar to the Zimbabwean dollar. And when that happened, the contractor then sort of backed out and said, listen, I can't complete this work using Zim dollar, because at the time he undertook the project, it was in US dollars. So that's how the project then stalled and stopped, because the contractor was not prepared to be paid in the current sort of currency. And when the project then stopped, now to complete it, it now became a challenge. So with that having happened, that project stopped. On the first project, the Rochester one, the existing one, we were pumping roughly about 3 to 4 megaliters a day up to the city. But the original design of that area was to pump 8 megaliters a day. So again, I suppose we can say with the help of COVID, the city managed to talk to talk to government in general. And when they were then talking to government in general, we managed, I thought that was quite well. They actually managed to bring 3 ministers down to Nyamandlovu to actually come and visit the projects and have a look at them. We had our own ministry, the Minister of Water, complete with our deputy. We had the Minister of Local Government and also the Minister of Finance came down to Nyamandlovu and had a look at the projects. And when they looked at the project and seen what work was left to complete the projects, we then tried to do it in terms of priority. We said the first priority and the easiest project to get underway was to rehab the existing Rochester system so that we then up what we were producing there from the 3 megaliters a day to 8 megaliters a day. And the 10.6 million you were talking, one of the gentlemen there was talking about, is the money that was released to start working on that project. And that project is been undertaken, and I can currently say for the past 2-3 weeks, we've been sending 8 to 9 megaliters a day to Bulawayo from Rochester. So on that one, I think we've met our targets. When the ministers came down, the second phase where we were saying we needed to complete the work that was undertaken at Epping, they were in agreement with us. And when I'm saying us, I'm saying both ZINWA and the city. And there was really good sort of communication and promises that government would avail funding for the completion of that project. So we're currently waiting to hear when the Ministry of Finance will be releasing money to complete Epping.